Hey everyone, it's Bookworm. I'm back. Sorry, I kind of... Uh-oh. Don't walk into the zombie. We're already starting up. That's not good. But sorry, I've been kind of slacking a little bit on videos the last few days. Been very busy. And it dawned on me I hadn't done a Dead Frontier video in a while, so thought I'd get back on that. I'm also starting a new thing where I'm going to try to review zombie and horror books and movies, you know, live up to the whole Bookworm name, because I am quite obsessed with books and movies. And I figured Dead Frontier would be a great background for that, since, unlike the other games, this one doesn't really have a storyline, you know, so you're not really having to watch and pay attention to dialogue or anything, so it gives me a little more free range to just kind of ramble on about whatever I want to. It's just walking around and shooting zombies. So I figured this would be a great background for doing the different reviews. That being said, this is going to be my first one. I read a zombie book the other day, and it was really good. I want to recommend it to you. It's called Endings, Parables from the Apocalypse by Norman Christof. And he didn't pay me to do this or anything. This is just my own review. It is a free book on Nook and Kindle. But of course, if you want to get the rest of them, it looks like it's only on Kindle for some reason. First off, like I said, I did like the book. I do recommend it. Now, we'll start off with the bad, you know, because nothing's perfect. And there is one big elephant in the room to discuss about this book. That's what I've seen. It was a common thing on the reviews on Amazon and all for it. And it is something to let you know about ahead of time. This is part one of a series. There's 6 books out now, I believe. And it is a free book. That means, of course, this book is total clickbait, wanting you to buy the other books. It's not a standalone story in the slightest. It has no ending. Basically, it just ends abruptly. You might as well have a ... at the end of the last sentence. So you will have to buy the other books if you want to continue the story. That being said, you will want to continue the story. I plan on getting the other books. In fact, I have the Nook app downloaded, and when I found out it's only on Kindle, I actually went out and downloaded the Kindle app just so I can purchase these books. So it is good. It is worth it. But it's just, it gets, you know, that's a little annoying to me when people do that, where it's just total bait, movies do the same thing too. And I'm not talking about movies like with Harry Potter or, you know, Lord of the Rings, where it's based on a series, or Hunger Games, where, you know, they break it up and you know ahead of time. But I remember watching the second Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was so annoyed that the end of the movie was a total cliffhanger. So I'm thinking, wow, I just spent all this money and all this time watching this movie, and all it is just setting it up to saying, no, you have to see the ending later. So that part is annoying, because I feel like writers should have enough confidence in their storytelling ability that, you know, maybe offer the first one for free, but that their storytelling and their stories are good, and their writing is good enough that even if, you know, you would want to buy the other books versus just feeling like you have to just so you can get some closure. You know, I mean, I'm going back to Harry Potter now. You know, like, the Harry Potter is a series, but each book is a standalone story. You get a beginning, middle, and end, so you don't feel compelled to read the next book. You just really want to, because it's just that good. And with this, I think it could have been a standalone story where I still would have wanted to read the other books. And of course, part of it to me, I guess, is my own expectations. And this is through no fault of the author whatsoever. It's just my own, I guess, misinterpreting of the title. Like I said, it's called Endings, and then it's Parables from the Apocalypse. So from reading that, it's just my own thought was, I thought it was going to be each book was a standalone story centered around the same theme. Kind of like World War Z, you know, it's a bunch of different stories centered around one event. So I thought that's what it was going to be. And again, that's my own misinterpretation. So I'm thinking the book's going to end, and all of a sudden it doesn't. It is a really quick read too, so it's not one of those you have to, you know, feel like you're totally invested in. And I actually read it all in one sitting, which is, I mean, not only is it's good because it's quick, but it's good because I wanted to, you know, I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to find out what was going to be happening. And so, I mean, that's just the main thing. It's just something you're going to need to understand before going in to purchase it. You know, don't get too upset whenever you find out that the book doesn't actually end and you're going to have to continue it in the next books. Otherwise, though, I mean, like I said, it's a really good book. It's very unique in ways. The main thing I thought was really interesting that I've never seen before in any sort of zombie books or stories is that basically throughout the whole book, the country is business as usual, which is really interesting. That, and this is because it's about I'll tell you a brief. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's about this one man that he's a colonel in the army, and he's fighting the zombie war. So that's very reminiscent of World War Z. I could definitely see the author was paying homage to some other classic stories. And he's fighting in the zombie war, and he winds up deciding to, and I'm not going to explain why, but he decides to desert and go and see if he can find his estranged family, so he can at least have some time to spend with them before everything goes to pieces. So that's basically the concept of the story. He's trying to, follow the steps to see if he can find his family. But it's really interesting because it actually talks about this is the third zombie war, the third wave, I guess, that they fought back the other two when they won, but then the zombies just came right back later on. But in every single book or movie I've ever seen, it's basically like the second the first zombie is spotted, then it's just total anarchy. The buildings are burned and looted, and there's no government, and it's just every man for himself. But this one, though, it's really interesting where it's more kind of real life, I guess, where there is the zombie problem, there is the menace, and the military is fighting it, but then everyone else, they're just kind of going about their day, that the school is still going on. There's even one scene where the main character goes to City Hall and is trying to talk to a bureaucrat about getting help looking up public property records. So it's really interesting, it's not total destruction, and so it's just a really different take on it. And of course the other thing that's really unique about these is, again, not to give too much away, not too many spoilers, but there's an evolution of zombies going on. They're not just your typical Romero shuffling around and moaning and stupid zombies. There's definite evolution. And of course, the first thing I thought of on that was Land of the Dead by Romero, where the zombies are starting to learn to use tools and think, and maybe start getting some semblance of their former selves. He only started really going into that aspect towards the end, so I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the other book, so I can't really elaborate on that. But it is just interesting that it's still a little bit of a different take. And like I said, you can definitely see tributes to other stories like Land of the Dead, World War Z, that sort of thing. But it's one of those that it's still done in such a way. It's a good spin on it, a good twist. So he's putting his own take on it. It's not just he totally ripped off of that story or whatever. So it's really good. He was really good at taking other themes, other things we've seen before, and still making it new, making it surprising. So I just thought it was really interesting. Like I said, I'm planning on buying the others and reading them and finding out the rest of the story. This first one is free. You can get it on Nook and Kindle. The others, there is what I'm going to do. It's a pack of, you can do it's the 5-pack, the first 5 books for $5, so I'll be doing that. And then I think the 6th book is $2.99, so I'll be checking that out, and I'll let you know what I think of it later on after I read them. But yeah, if you want to check out a really good, decent new zombie book, and it's not long, then check out Endings, Parables from the Apocalypse by Norman Christof. It's definitely worth checking it out, especially for being free. It's definitely worth the price. So I would highly recommend it. Again, that's Endings, Parables from the Apocalypse by Norman Christof. And it looks like I'm just about back at the holdout. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of end this one. So keep updated. Keep updated next week, because this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be at Walker Stalker Con in Dallas. Hopefully getting to meet some of the really cool Walking Dead cast members. The governor's going to be there. I'm so excited about that. I really want to meet the governor. So stay tuned. The next week, I'm definitely going to be doing a full recap on that. So please, thank you again for tuning in and sharing the love. And make sure to like and subscribe and share. And if you have any ideas for games you want me to play, or books or movies you want me to check out and talk about on the channel, I'm all ears. I love finding new things. So just comment below, like, subscribe, and share, and keep sharing the love. Thank you so much.